chapters in general have a great deal of freedom. We don't tell chapters what to do.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Okay, well, again, hello and welcome everybody. Thanks for making it. We haven't really been announcing this well in advance, but since I told Jameson as well that it would be very hard for me to make this meeting the rest of the week or even in the weekend, we thought it would be best to get it started right now. Obviously, it was a fortunate event that T-Rose was here and that we managed to get a good number of your group on here. So I guess we'll start now, and if there need be a future meeting, that could be arranged. Let me start by explaining why the meeting has been called in the first place. I've become aware of the recent events happening within the Arizona chapter. Of course, largely due to the participation of Jonas, who unfortunately can't be here, but obviously will be able to respond through listening to the recording or a future meeting. And we have asked Jameson and Christian to respond to this situation in a way, or at least explain their disposition towards the situation. I hope that everybody has been able to read through the logs that we have provided to understand why we are being so harsh as to actually engage in your local chapter with this issue, because as if you are not aware, as a global movement we have blacklisted or at least decided not to cooperate and prevent chapters to work with the Argo SE group, and as Jonas was promoting this within the chapter, as well as not being able to behave on our mediums, this has become a problem. Why this becomes a problem at the local level as well is that he participates in these mediums of the Argo SE group as well as your mediums, while he's actively criticizing the movement, name-calling people, and in general still sending us messages wanting to get on here, not acknowledging that he has intimidated or at least offended people, which is worrying in a way, and also because of what he has done with the RBOC pamphlet or flyer that you had for the event, which was quite disrespectful. I want to say in addition that I think that at a personal level, Jonas is quite a nice person to talk to. I have talked to him in private as well, which was not a bad experience. He has actually explained his private issue that he has, which he's dealing with right now. Some of you know of this, some of you don't, which I can understand to some degree why and how he's behaving because of that. Nevertheless, we have given them a lot of chances and explanations that if he wants to be within our environment and chapters, that he would have to respect other people around him. And the reason why we've asked Jameson to take care of this is because if he's going to act the same way on a local level, not respecting the global movement, then that becomes a problem. And if the chapter at large would be defending that, that would be a problem, because the chapter is supposed to be a satellite of the global movement. Of course, also a group of individuals that work together, and of course entitled to their own opinion and own perceptions, but with in mind that the global movement also is something they are reflecting, and then it's not a good sign if instead of understanding that we've asked this of Jameson, the group would get angry at her, at least for taking the actions with Jonas and other issues. That's of course something that's separate from this, but that's our general disposition with this issue. Having said my part, I think it would be good if everybody would introduce themselves just briefly, just say who you are, and if you have read the logs and what you think about the issue yourself, starting with JD.
Hi, yeah, I'm JD. I'm a member of the Arizona group here. And yeah, I have read about 50% of the logs, and I have to say that I don't see anything that I could consider disruptive in there. I see criticisms of the movement of some moderators, but not personal attacks on moderators. What I see is concerns about the way that things have been approached with lack of transparency and a lot of things, like there's a lot of personal bias going on that really shouldn't be happening. We should be using much more precise language and much more diplomatic and friendly language, I think. There's a lot of stuff where it's just like, well, that's my opinion, and if I think it's bullshit, then I call it bullshit, and very kind of dogmatic and very cut and dry, very concrete type of words, and that's just not helpful. It shuts doors instead of opens them, in my opinion. But and regarding the pamphlet and the local the local posts that Jonas is said to have made, first of all, I haven't seen either of those. They were deleted off the site before I got a chance to take a look at them, and I've asked to see them, and haven't had anybody come forward and put those out. So I really can't judge on something I haven't seen. So, but from what I can see in the RBOC chat, he's very respectful. His approach is one of respect for everybody he talks to. I haven't seen anything even close to objectionable in there. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't really see any personal attacks or anything like that going on there. And as far as that pamphlet goes, I mean, all of our pamphlets that the movement have are they're made to be editable and basically open source. So it's not like he took somebody's copyrighted book and plagiarized it, or he took something that was firmly said, no, this is set in stone, it must always remain this way, and altered it or anything to that nature. I mean, I think altering those documents is something that we've all heard is fine. It's like if you see a document, whether it's a flyer or a pamphlet or poster, whatever it might be, and you have a good idea, don't be shy about jumping in and adding your spin on it, your alterations to it, and and see if you can build a better mousetrap. More power to you. So as far as that, I see that more as kind of an open source thing, and I don't really see a contention there. Yeah, that's all I have for right now. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, JD, for sharing your perspective. Christian?
I'm wondering if I can hear Jamie's point of view, because I was kind of confused. Actually, at our in-person meeting on Sunday, Jamie was actually very much on the page of we want to undo banning and basically allowing Jonas to come back. I mean, I'm not so sure if I am really about to, I'm not trying to push any removing any bans globally. Honestly, I feel like that's absolutely your domain. I'm not trying to change any of that, but I am trying to maintain a certain level of peace here in our chapter, and it seems to me that the ban is actually creating more conflict itself than Jonas's actions on the chapter itself. Like, as far as creating disruptions, there's plenty of people that actually appreciate his presence. So, but then later in the evening of Sunday evening, Jamie kind of changed her tone. So I was kind of curious to see where she's coming from now first.
Okay, well, we'll get to her in a bit. Obviously, the other Christian was what I meant. We're going top-down, but it's okay that you already explained Christian. Then we'll just, when we come to your name, we'll ask Dante. William is here from Ohio, I see, so obviously if you want to weigh in, that's fine, but hey, no problem, Christian. Yeah, I think we'd be best off asking T-Rose right now what her general disposition is with the whole matter.
I've only been in the mix for 2 weeks now, 2 meetings. I did read the logs, and I echo a lot of what JD said. I didn't really see anything that was, so horrible. I saw the name calling that you mentioned that, according to what he said, it went both ways with name calling. But he does add a lot to the meetings. The 2 meetings that I was there, and from the way you describe him and the way he is in real life, or at a meeting rather, it seems like 2 different people. So my feeling was, if he's broken the rules here and he's banned, that's one thing. But if it's not like that at the chapter, if everyone is okay with him. But I see your point that you explained, Gilbert, in the beginning of the meeting. Heron, actually, I was speaking to him about it before the meeting started, and he made a suggestion of just banning him from speaking here, but letting him talk, and I'm just throwing that out here now. But as somebody who's only been here 2 weeks, that's the insight that I'm giving right now.
Okay, no problem. Of course, I appreciate your perspective in this, and no, I fully understand. And obviously, we have had the mute function added here as well. So in some cases, that is a solution. I can't conclude at this point that that would be applicable in this case, but we can discuss that later in the meeting. Obviously, since you mentioned it, Brian, can you comment? Since I realize you have also read the logs.
Yeah, this is Brian in Arizona. I did go through the logs, and I did notice that while Jonas was there, he wasn't really disrespectful to those others in the chat, but obviously he was very vocal about his opinions of people that weren't there to defend themselves. Which I thought was just kind of weird. And, I don't really know what to think about that. Was he drunk, or was he on drugs? Was he, just pissed off in general? Kind of sounded that way. But, I haven't been to a face-to-face since Z-Day. And, he was present at our Z-Day event, and he didn't really make any overt disruptions. I think he did have a handout with Arbos on it that we told him he couldn't put on the table. And otherwise he was fairly congenial, and he did answer a few questions during or had some comments during the question and answer period that were not objectionable. So it seems face to face that he's manageable. But he has certain antics when the internet allows a certain amount of anonymity to get a little crazy, I guess. I'm not really sure what to do, whether or not it was really necessary to ban him locally. It's not like we haven't been able to manage what he's been doing, leading up to Z-Day. But obviously you guys have had more interaction with him online, and, I've had to take steps, which, I understand. So that's my perspective.